Hey there, folks. It's me, Chris, with a Gig Man's Life. Yeah, baby, it's a Gig Man's Life indeed. And of course, this channel is solely dedicated to the freelance gig economy, RIdeShare, delivery, and freelancing out here on the internet. That's what we're up to. That's what we're watching, the viral videos and news reports that affect us out here in the gig economy. Especially one of our favorite subjects is the lack of training that a lot of these gig apps do, and the concerns of what happens, And this report comes out of Houston, Texas. These two fine individuals who are charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon and carjacking a rideshare operator who's only been working the gig for the last 3 months, picked up these two people under a female's name, where they said that this was one of their girls, and took them to a mile. They parked at a certain location. They proceeded to assault the lady with the rock, and she got out of the vehicle. They stole the vehicle and drove off with it. They got arrested in a chase. The vehicle definitely got damaged, and they're now seeking real criminal charges. And why do I say this is about training? Because the issue is that they booked the trip under somebody else's name. They were not put down as guests because, yes, they're supposed to be put down as guests, that their contact information was supposed to be listed. And this would have been resolved in training, as that this is not discriminating against the person who has facial tattoos. This was simply, I chose not to take this trip because they do not match the identity of the person who ordered it. This is another problem where I see that the gig apps do not make sure that people have pictures listed. It's pretty bad, especially the other gig app, which allows any picture. It doesn't allow or force people to take pictures of themselves with the device that they're using to arrange rides from, and without filters, because yes, I've seen multiple filters on some of it, but no pictures of an individual I am picking up. And I have to have, in my state, Massachusetts, we are forced to have a little placard, and I would suggest that you look for that little placard that says that we have passed both of our background checks and has our picture with our name. And you guys can see that. You see everything else. But when it comes to the individuals we're picking up, we don't get pictures of them, And people would say that would cause discrimination. Well, if the person picture was there and you were saying, they did not put down through the system, then it's up to you on choosing whether or not taking them. But on the other side, they're, the person that they're working with, or anything else. Oh no, my account got taken over. It wasn't me that arranged that ride. There is so many excuses, because that is conspiracy. Of course, that's where I'm saying, yes, most likely they stole somebody's account to do this. Because if this is not what I think it is, I'm hoping it's not what I think it is, And I'm not about to go and say it because that's how things are rolling right now. This is still within 48 hours. They are investigating this whole situation with the driver and these two people that assaulted her, because every one of these trips is bonded for $1 million. She says she can't discriminate. And that is bad training, not the lack of training, because she had every right not to go and take this trip. Seriously, she had every right. They weren't listed as guests of the person arranging it. And yes, I know I've taken people who are arranged trips, but mainly from hospitals and other things, because that's what it is, the organization. That's usually what I say. Okay, this is a company hiring us out to do the ride and everything else. This is what we get paid to do. And seeing this situation, yes, I'm going to be following this story for as long as that they're going to report it, because it is interesting, especially just the fact that she says she doesn't want to be identified because she's going through a divorce. Unfortunately, anything, this is where people don't realize you're now put down as a victim of a crime in any criminal report, regardlessly. Yeah, your husband's gonna know about this from the divorce court. So that's what is tripping my spidey senses on this. The little tingle of something other is afoot on this matter. Hopefully it isn't what I'm thinking it is, and I'm not suggesting it right now. Let's let the investigation go through, the criminal case go through, seeing, just still looking at this is like, yeah, we know you've been in jail, and we know that you have been in jail for something really, really stupid and got treated like property. Because a lot of those facial tattoos, yeah, there is something going on, especially when they put a tag right dead center on your forehead. So, yeah, I'm going to keep up on this story, see what happens. I'm hoping and praying it's not what I'm thinking it is, because of the bonds that go on these trips. I don't think anybody would risk themselves for a payout, but in this economy, I wouldn't put it past them. I'm hoping it's not what I think in that manner, and that this is resolved. I hope she is doing well. No matter what, she needs to address the issues, and saying that this is a divorce, if she thinks that any settlement is not getting passed into the divorce, her lawyers need to address the fact that unless she's no longer living with the person, that no financial situation is being assisted, and that I just know that some people, it's how it is in their life. But, I hope she is doing well, and no matter what, this is just still what I consider lack of training and understanding general safety. If you feel like you shouldn't pick up a person, don't. don't pick them up. Take the hit. There is statements, but they don't go and address the other things, like the fact that you lose a rating because you felt like this wasn't a safe pickup, or that the person who went and did the trip didn't have a car seat, didn't have a booster seat for their kids. There's too many people getting into your vehicle, too much stuff. You're not a moving van. You know, you're only there to transport them and their luggage, not their household. And I've seen that a few times. I don't like being treated like that. And when I see that nowadays, I decline. And I cancel the trip. I'm not dealing with that. I want to transport people safely. I do not want to be treated like I'm a moving van or a bus, and we shouldn't be treated like that. Them going with this automation and everything else, that's why they're not seeing the need for training. And I will be the biggest advocate for us getting trained, getting paid to get trained, to do our jobs. They want to go and throw violations at us. Agreeing to policy is not training. Going and only being concerned of whether we're delivering alcohol or delivering medications is the only training you want to do because you legally have to do it. Well, these apps have to look at the cost to benefit, and I hope she doesn't just settle. I hope she takes it through and goes after them for the lack of training they give us drivers. So I'll be watching this story and seeing how it's going. And always remember that anytime when there is bad behavior out here in the gig economy, that people are doing shit like this, we have to watch out and keep accountable all parties in these situations, especially for the lack of training, because even DoorDash girl does have a defense on the lack of training. She stated it. The secondary charge of dissemination, she's not getting off of. The illegal surveillance, well, yeah, that is something she can possibly get off on because we're supposed to document issues. But we're not talking about that, and we're going to move on from this because I hit my limit. You guys have a great day. I hope that it is a profitable one for you, and take it safe out there. Remember, it's not discrimination if you don't feel safe to take a person.